Time to go west now, and when we do, we talk to the man in the know. Welcome, Greg Hire. Plenty happening in your part of the world.
Yeah, very exciting weekend we just had. I don't mind basketball midweek, so we had a game on the Wednesday, but some incredible results, some massive upsets, and some undefeated teams losing. So all in all, a fantastic round.
Let's head to the men's action first of all, because one of your teams has done a Collingwood. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure you should be saying that on a West Coast sort of podcast here, Meg, because we don't like the Magpies, but you're exactly right. The Joondalup Wolves did that, facing two fourth quarter deficits. They had all the confidence in the world and ended up steamrolling both the East Perth Eagles on the Friday night and then doing that against the Goldfield Giants on Sunday. And it was inspired by the man, Quinton Dove. He's been a revelation. He was signed in the off-season. He had a 33-point game against East Perth. He hit two massive back-to-back threes with about under 2 minutes left. And then they were inspired by their captain on Sunday against Goldfield Giants, with Jordan Wellsteed getting 15 rebounds with an additional 12 points. And that's massive for that group. You know, if they lost both those games, they've had a really inconsistent year. So for them to get that win, well, both wins for this round, will do them a world of good, because there's some question marks regarding Jonathan Wade, who's one of their other big marquee players, and he could be in doubt for the season.
The Tigers dominated the Redbacks, and there was plenty of storylines in this one. Can you tell me about them?
Yeah, well, Darnell Hoskins, who was their import signing this offseason, he erupted 20 points in the first quarter and really set the tone. And, Willetton, after their first round defeat against the Rockingham Flames, they're on a bit of a tear here, and that's obviously led by Gorjak Gak and Darnell Hoskins. But the third name, which might be a little bit of a surprise, not to a surprise to him, is Mark Worthington. And he had an incredible game. He shot 5 from 8 from the three-point line, had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And very interesting, this group. I mean, they're, we know Worthington does not have lack confidence, and so they're on a roll. They got a veteran group, and we'll see what happens at this back half of the season.
Great basketball story, having Wortho back on court. That's a win for him and his team, the conference, the league, the fans, and the little kids watching a legend back doing what he loves most. Now, before we head over to the women's conference, some really tragic news in the basketball fraternity this week, Greg.
Yeah, you're right. It's really on a somber note. Vanessa Cooper lost her long battle with cancer, who was the husband of Andrew Cooper, who's the men's head coach for the Cockburn Cougars, and really puts basketball in perspective. Realistically, week after week, I've sort of said the Cougars have been disappointing, haven't winning a game, and so I really want to acknowledge Andrew and Tani and Jesney, their children, because it really, puts on a more somber note, reflecting. She's an incredible woman, and they got a win this weekend, and I think that doesn't mean anything. When you lose, I'm not only an incredible person within our community, but you lose a loving wife, an incredible mother, and condolences to Andrew and his children and the Cockburn Cougars fraternity.
We certainly echo your sentiments and send our sympathy to Andrew and his family and friends at this super sad time. Let's move on to the women's action now, because we've had our first really big upset of the season.
Yeah, and you would have not predicted it. The Redbacks on Friday night, Perth Redbacks, have not won a game all year, and they get absolutely humbled by Willetton Tigers, who are on a tear, by 47 points. And that set up a pretty significant challenge to then go down to Mandurah Magic, who we spoke about last week, are undefeated and been playing terrific basketball, but to get a win by 6 points, hopefully really sparked something within this group. And it was inspired by Brooke Malone, and she's not a household name. She returned back from junior college, or she's over there in the States doing that, and she had 23 points and 13 rebounds. She's a Rockingham Flames junior, so it's amazing what opportunity does. You'd be looking at Mandurah really, licking your wounds a little bit and going, did we drop one there? But incredible effort by the Redbacks. I love that. That's what you want in this league. You don't want expected results every single week. And to see the Redbacks get a win after getting humbled on Friday night, shows, I guess, the strength of that group.
Elsewhere, it was a round where Rockingham responded.
Yeah, look, the blowtorch is on them. No pun intended with the Flames, but they've been very disappointing to start off the season, and they've got an incredible coaching staff, obviously led by Knowles, but Rob Beveridge, he's going to be the shadow lurking over that group because he's an incredible coach, one of not the best coaches in Australia that we have. But we saw the Flames go 2-0, and they were expected to win that. They needed to beat Lakeside Lightning. They did that, and then they, on Saturday night, went against the Goldfield Giants and won that. So now they sit at 3-3. Taya Burrows, sensational. She's going to be an interesting talking point of this offseason, whether she rejoins the WNBL and with the Perth Lynx or ventures over east, and she's doing herself wonders. She needs to have the ball in her hands a little bit more and play with that confidence. But credit to Taya, she's she played with plenty of energy and enthusiasm as what she's expected to do. But really pleasing to see her having a really dominating weekend.
She's a ripper, Taya Burrows. Huge improvements from her last WNBL season, so looking forward to her continued form in NBL1 West. And before we let you go, Greg, let's take a look at the round coming up because there's a massive weekend. We're getting into sort of pressure games and pressure phases of the season already for Joondalup.
Mate, I am rubbing my hands at this weekend. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to be watching the Joondalup Wolves. They're going to go against the Willerton Tigers, led by Alex Sharp, and then they're going against Coburn Cougars, who are led by Sarah Mortensen. You want to talk about a test, that's it. You go 2-0, you're basically proving to the rest of the league, hey, we're the number one team. And, Robbie Ryan, Taj Morrell, Nashaya Parker-Williams, talk about a big three. That's one right there. They're better than Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. That's that three right there. So, look, an incredible weekend. We're going to see one of those teams who haven't lost a game really go up against it and lose their first. But I think more so will show where the Coburn Cougars are at. Tyrone Thwaites has recruited really well. That won't be their full outfit. Paddy Brosman will come in soon, who's over in Europe. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be licking my lips at what some fantastic women's basketball ahead of us.
And I'm sure that trio won't mind the comparison, that's for sure. Can't wait for that massive weekend coming up for them. I'm with you, I'll be watching that very closely. Greg, thanks so much for your time today. Look forward to wrapping up more action with you next week.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you as always.